the occasional address.
Deputy Vice-Chancellor Professor Bolt, presenting deans and members of the academic procession, families, friends and the class of 2026, congratulations. And thank you for that introduction. I should say, in 40-something years, almost no one has pronounced my name correctly on the first attempt. So you got very close and you're already ahead of most of the boards that I sit on. It is an honour to stand on this side of the Great Hall today. The last time I sat where you were all sitting, I was holding my degree and a very detailed 5-year plan. I've since lost the plan and I have not missed it once. Before I go any further, to the families in the room, the parents, the partners, the friends who took the 11 o'clock phone call about the assignment that was due at 9 in the morning, who funded the degree, a phone and a truly heroic number of coffees, today is yours too. And the good news is that your graduate is now fully qualified, completely independent and ready to move out. Some of you look hopeful, sorry about that, pace yourselves. Since I have sat where you are sitting, I have been everywhere. I have been a GP welcoming refugee boats arriving on the shores of Christmas Island. I have built a telehealth business with surgeons in Switzerland, where it turns out the real meetings happen on the slopes and not in the boardroom. I have worked with Border Force to reopen this country's borders during a pandemic. I have walked the corridors of Google, Salesforce, Microsoft and Amazon working on projects. I have taken medical students to an orphanage in India to teach them public health. I have been on breakfast television before coffee explaining the AI revolution in healthcare. I've set up companies here locally and overseas in the Philippines. And I have stood in the deep, dark highlands of Papua New Guinea in villages with no electricity, delivering healthcare to families who had never seen a doctor. Dr. Seuss got it right. Oh, the places you will go. What he did not mention is that the places you go are almost never the ones you planned, and the leader you become is built in the moments you did not see coming. You are graduating into a world that is being remade in real time. AI is rewriting how we work. Climate is rewriting where we live. And the problems waiting for you in the lab, in hospitals, in boardrooms, in cities, and in code do not have neat answers in the back of a textbook. So we need leaders who can hold their nerve in the unknown. Michelle Obama writes that fearless is not an absence of fear. Fearless is choosing to move with that fear neatly tucked in your pocket and to keep going anyway. That is the work ahead of all of you, and I want to offer you 3 things I have learnt about doing it. Number 1, please take up the space. A few years ago, I walked into a meeting as a CEO of a company. I had the title, I had the brief, I had strategy. Someone in the room handed me the coffee order and asked me to grab the drinks. They thought I was the coffee lady. And I have to be honest with you, my first reaction was not righteousness. My first reaction was to consider getting the coffees. They looked thirsty, I was thirsty, it seemed efficient. My second reaction was that hot, familiar wave of doubt, the same doubt that has visited me at every board table where I have been the only one who looked like me. The American Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman elected to the US Congress, said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. I've carried a folding chair everywhere I have gone. Sometimes they will have given you the seat on paper, and someone in the room will still mistake you for the help. The work in that moment is not to shrink. It is to take the chair that you were given and use it. I have sat at board tables, the only one who looked like me, and said things that people did not want to hear. Not because I enjoyed it, but because I knew that saying it would save lives, unapologetically. That is leadership, not volume, not certainty, but conviction. Michelle Obama also writes that each of us carries a particular light, a combination of story and skill and conviction that no one else carries in quite the same way. And the temptation early in your career will be to dim it, to make yourself smaller, simpler, easier to read, and easier to forget. Please don't. Whatever made you stand out, your background, your accent, your difficult name to pronounce, the way you see a problem, that is exactly what the room needs. I stopped correcting people a long time ago. I tell them I answer to anything including you. But I also stopped shrinking to fit their version of me. I brought all of it. Number 2, fail forward. I have started companies that worked. I have also started companies that did not so much as fail as spontaneously combust, quietly, completely, and usually right after I had told everyone how well it was going. There is a particular kind of silence that follows a startup that goes nowhere. Investors stop returning your emails. Your LinkedIn post about the next chapter and exciting new opportunities gets 4 likes. 3 of them are your sister from different accounts. Nelson Mandela said, "Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." The people who go furthest in any field are not the ones who avoided failure. They are the ones who relished it, metabolized it, looked at the thing that did not work, took the lesson and started again. The Philippines business told me things that the Sydney boardroom never could. Every detour I've had in my life has added something to something I use every single day now. And I guarantee you your career will not be a straight line, but the detours are the education. And number 3, lift as you climb. The most important thing I will say to you today is this. When I stood in those villages in PNG where families walked for 2 days to see a doctor, any doctor, I have watched mothers hold sick children in the dark because there was no power, no clinic and no system. It changes how you measure a career. Madeleine Albright, the first female US Secretary of State, famously said, "There is a special place in hell for women who don't help other women." I would broaden it. There is a special place in mediocrity for anyone who climbs the ladder and pulls it up behind them. You will leave the hall today with skills very few people on earth have. You will use them for yourself, of course you will, but the real question is whether you will also use them for the people who are locked out of the room. The patient who cannot get to a doctor, the founder who cannot get the meeting, the graduate behind you who cannot get a job. I run a community of more than 25,000 clinicians around the world, and almost every one of us is there because somebody at some point turned around, reached back and helped us. That is the only kind of leadership that compounds. So class of 2026, you walked in here today with a degree from the University of Sydney, but you walk out of here with the start of the story, your story. Some of you will go to the tech giants or the companies that don't exist yet. Some of you will go to villages I have not even heard of. And some of you will start companies that fail and you will try again and again. And the next one might just change everything. And the 5-year plan that you walked in here with, please put it in the bin on the way out. Lose it early. You will not miss it. Take up the space, fail forward, lift as you climb, and in the words of the famous Dr. Seuss, oh, the places you will go. Truly, I cannot wait to see what you all build. Congratulations and thank you.